was swimming a few days ago, and I noticed something about how people were acting around me that actually took me years till I figured this out. That people in my life were behaving the same like this, but I just couldn't see that. I was doing laps, 200 meters non-stop, and at one point I would have stopped just to catch my breath before I go again. That I noticed something that people around me in my lane or my adjacent lane, I was seeing that they were kind of anticipating on me to wait so they would feel comfortable or they could even approach me. I was like this, that at that point I was so confused at what's happening, or I was like this. And the day after, when I was reflecting on that, it occurred to me that, oh, it's just like the people that used to be in my life, that they would have told me that you're waking up too early, or you're doing too much, or slow down, stuff like this. And at that point, I thought, like back then, I thought that they're being genuine, so I would have considered what they were saying, and I would have saw if I need to really do that or not. But it wasn't ever about me. It was just about them wanting to feel comfortable when they're around me. And just like nobody offered to swim with me, in my life back then, nobody also offered to go about our goals together. And I was like, They just wanted me to wait on them so they feel comfortable, so they feel secure. And here's what I want you to take away from this. And it's not that don't stop. Yeah, don't stop. But also it's this, that their comfort is not your job to provide. If someone needs you to shrink down, to slow down, or pause, so they will be able to approach you or talk to you, that's information about them and not you. Because believe me, somebody who's like you, somebody who's driven, ambitious, and hardworking like you, they'll actually join you. And then not to tell me to slow down or rest or whatever, And if you ever shrink yourself for someone or even slow down, imagine that if I had slowed down in swimming pool, I would have attracted some people that I didn't want to have in my life in the first place. I would have attracted people that they weren't as competent. And just because they weren't as competent, or just because they weren't, I prefer to say this, that just because they weren't willing to put that work, I would have been blamed and I think secretly cursed and also attacked throughout that relationship. Do you really want that relationship? I don't think so. You may want to talk to someone just for a day or two, but after that, believe me, you don't want them. So why bother? And it occurred to me that my ambitions, my capabilities, my hard work, they're all protecting me. Before, I used to think that, oh, this is basically what's gonna cause people to attack me. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But only if you stay in those dynamics. If you remove yourself from there, and if you go at your full speed, at your own full speed, because believe me, you might basically slow down just slightly. You might just still go, but slow down slightly so you will make them feel comfortable. This is subconsciously doing it, that you are subconsciously slowing down a little bit. You're still going, but with a little bit of resistance going. And firstly, you're making it harder for yourself than it is. And also, you're doing this to not get attacked, but then you see that people are attacking you anyway, just because you stayed in that damn dynamic. Okay? So, then it occurred to me that when I went on my full speed, nobody even approached me, nobody even talked to me. It was so peaceful, believe me, it was so peaceful. And I was like, oh. Firstly, you're ambitious and your hard work were never the problem. And secondly, if you want to stay away from all those attacks and harsh things that they will tell you, you have to go at your full speed. Why? Because they can't catch on. Firstly, this. And secondly, it's like a sun, if you look at it directly, it will burn you. It's like this to them. If they look at you or if they want to get close to you, it will burn them, so they will not come. And if somebody ever comes, it's someone who matches your frequency, someone who matches your hard work, your ambitions, your work ethic. So either it's gonna be alone, which is so peaceful, or it's gonna be someone who matches you. A problem solved. You're gonna be alone the majority of the time. But the times that you get to be with someone, they are the high quality people that's worth spending your time with. and not people that you regret and slightly hate yourself for allowing those people to waste your time and having to heal yourself and find peace with that. It's just, again, so messy if you go back to them. Okay, so yes, it's gonna be alone, and that's good because it brings you the peace and clarity and time to focus on yourself, build what your ambition wants you to build, and down the line, you're gonna find the people who are gonna match that. I spent years listening to people who were asking me to wait for them, not because they cared about my well-being, but because my pace made them so uncomfortable that they had to attack me in so many ways. And some of them, they're passive aggressive. You might not find out that, oh, that was disrespectful until down the line. And they might even hate you, but not know it quite yet. And if they hate you, it's only because they hate you because you remind them of what they could have done, but they never did. You remind them of this huge gap. So it's never about you. So the next time you feel the pressure that you need to slow down, don't. Just go on at your own speed. Even if it's high for them, it's not your problem. It's theirs to deal with. And once you see this clearly, you will stop taking those harsh comments that they made about you personally. You don't owe anyone a pause so they can catch up with being okay with who you are. You're either okay with who you are at your own authentic speed, or they're not. That's it. If you ever caught yourself shrinking for someone else so they can feel comfortable, tell me in the comments. I want to know that I'm not the only one in this.